Hey guys, V from Sharkfin Shears here. Thank you for tuning in to today's class where we're going to be doing a live haircut, bringing you tricks and tips that you can take this week and use behind the chair. I suggest taking one or two of these tricks, trying them out on a client this week, see how they work out for you. Have fun with it. We're going to have fun in today's class. And be sure to tune in every Monday or check out the YouTube channel so you can see the recordings as well. If you're in today's class, please stay tuned to the end. I want to give you a promo code that you can use on the website to shop around that'll help you out when purchasing a pair of shears. Sharkfin is dedicated to bringing education on the tools that you're going to be using behind the chair. I'll talk specifically about the shear that I use and why I like it. And I just want to let you know, again, before we get started, that Sharkfin has a shear for everybody, whether you're looking for a swivel or a non-swivel, a 5.5-inch shear up to a 7, and the different type of blending shears that we offer as well. There's something out there for everybody, and I want to make sure that you have the tool that you're comfortable with in your hand when you're working behind the chair all day. So again, stay tuned until the end. Thank you for tuning in today. And if there's anything in the future that you would like to see, hit us up on Instagram at Sharkfin Shears and let us know what you want to learn about. Let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Monday here with Sharkfin Shears. My name is Vinny. This is my guy, Jess. Jess, say hello to the people.
Hello.
Great class we're going to bring to you today. Look at this. Look at this hair. Look at this head of hair. Jesse somebody that comes in every 3 weeks. We've been working on something. I'm going to let him explain a little bit of what we've been doing, what he's looking for today, and then jump right in, and I'll walk you guys through what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, like normal. So I just want to take a moment to say, thanks to Jesse coming out on a work day. So if work's watching this, apologize, but it's for a good cause. So thank you. No, but all jokes aside, you've been sitting in the chair with me for almost 6 years.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yep.
So cool. And this isn't what we started with, but this is where we're at right now. So why don't you tell the people a little bit about what we've been working on and what you're looking for today?
Yeah, so the latest style, I've been trying to grow my hair out a little bit more, and we've gotten to a point where now we found the length that we like, and we're just managing with each cut. So long enough on top that we can see some texture, but still short enough that it's not unmanageable. So today is a unique use case because like Vinny said, I sit in the chair every 3 weeks, but with the holiday coming up, I'm not going to be able to make my next appointment. So it's going to be 6 weeks until my next appointment. So I'm hoping that Vinny can trim it down to a point where it's not too short, but short enough that I can manage through for 6 weeks until my next appointment. So
and then get back to where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And some things I want to take note of. Thanks, man. That was well said. So we're going to remove a little bit more length than we normally would on a 3-week haircut because of the time in between. This is something you got to kind of pay attention of, and you'll find the rhythm working in the shop. Pay attention to the holidays. Like I said, Jesse's somebody that I book out every 3 weeks. It's clockwork when he comes in. And his schedule just so happens to land on New Year's Eve this year. And we're not going to be in the shop, and he's going to be away anyway. So we're going to pay attention to that. I'm going to take the haircut we've been doing, shrink it down a little bit to get him by for 6 weeks, but keep that structure to get back to where we were. And then the one thing I want to note that we've been working on is getting flow. One thing that we've changed in his haircut, we used to do like a mid-skin, and this flow that's here in the body of the haircut in the middle of the side was higher. The top was shorter. The back was a lot less hair. So what we're doing now is
We increase the length on the side to have some flow back, and we taper out the temples and the back to a skin taper, and then we just, again, we're maintaining the length. I like what Jess said. We're at a maintenance level now. It took us a couple times with understanding what Jesse wanted. His hair wasn't long enough yet for exactly what he wanted. And then we kind of had to grow it out and get it where it is now. And so now, like he said, it's just pretty much all maintenance. So with this haircut, we have some specific areas we're going to focus on with weight and where we put the weight and how that's going to contribute to giving us length where we need it and working up from there. So I'm going to start with my clipper work. And again, we want to continue to have flow in the sides, working up to a longer top. And then we're going to keep in mind the 6 week that we have in between these haircuts. So I'm going to put a 3 on now. We're going to clear out the regrowth, and I'm going to do that around the sides. I can see where I left off last time. This is grown in nice. And as I comb the hair vertically, lay it straight down, up and down, you can see the weight line. And then when we pull it back, that flow comes in. So we do need that length and we need that weight. The balance of it is what's going to create that awesome haircut. So, Jess, tell the people where you're going. What are we doing?
I'm going to be going to Boston for New Year's Eve. Well, actually, to roll back a little bit.
Yeah, right. We got a traveler here, everybody.
Yeah.
We got a traveler.
I'm going to Wyoming in a few days to do some snowboarding.
Yeah.
And then it just so happens that when I get back and my next appointment hits, I will be in Boston for the New Year.
Nice. Who else is going out to Boston?
We're going with another couple, friends of ours that we travel with frequently.
Cool.
Yeah, I think Boston's one of my favorite cities I've been to domestically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good vibe.
You been there a few times?
Yeah.
Nice. I've been once. I did like it. I would go back. For sure.
Yeah.
What do they have out? Isn't it? What was it? The Red Mile? Is that what it's called? That goes throughout the whole city.
Oh yeah, there's a historical path that you can walk and hit all the historical landmarks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is.
And then it kind of takes you on like a guided tour.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Did you get out to see a game?
No, I really would like to.
All right, so let's talk about what I did on the first go-around. I'm going to show one side today, do the other side a little bit more at shop speed. So created a weight line with my 3 guard. That separates the taper areas that I want. And we're going to fine-tune this with a little bit of layering, managing the length and weight. The weight is coming from the upper part of the side and the lower part of the parietal because this hair was cut at a lower elevation. So when I went up and kind of like stroked out, creating that weight line, but creating enough room to then be able to go in and kind of taper. So I'm going to clear out again with a 1.5. That'll set the taper area so we can again go down the skin here. What I always recommend is what you're going to do. So while you have the 1.5, put it in clear out all the areas that you need. So again, I'm going to do one side to kind of keep this moving. So this is where I can have that taper area ready to go. I'm going to clear out a little bit more for that 3. So Jesse, I always like to talk about like a little bit when I have clients, like long-term clients on.
Okay.
Anything, I mean, you've traveled with me, four shops, right?
But I think we started. Did we start at Sellersville?
Yeah. That's what I wasn't remembering, if it was Sellersville or if it was Percy.
We were definitely at Percy. I can't remember if we were in the small shop for.
But that would have been short term, right?
Yeah, I think we did start there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we went to Percy.
Lansdale.
Yep.
And North Penn.
Yeah, 4 shops.
Yeah. So you were with someone else in the company before. Their schedule just wasn't matching up with you. You sat in my chair, and then I don't know what kind of has taken place since then. You know, you come see me every 3 weeks.
Yeah. So I sat with a handful of guys throughout the shop, and I'm definitely loyal. You know, like I like to find that person, and I think it's just easier to communicate once you sat in the chair with them a few times. So
Yeah.
I really don't like jumping around, but like you said, things happen, scheduling and all that.
Yeah.
And luckily, sitting with you, I mean, right off the bat, I got the haircut that I wanted. It was easy to communicate my vision with you. I think you understood it, and once I get that connection, I don't want to leave it. So I'm definitely willing to travel, you know. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And then just for you guys, Kev, you can kind of pan in a little bit when I'm doing some tighter work like that. So see how that goes. Yep. And then, all right, cool. Yeah. So, yeah, we've built that up, and for Jesse to come in sitting in my chair 6 years ago, I've been cutting hair for 10 years. And I've been getting, better and better. Jesse was someone that sat in my chair for longer appointments when he had the time and I was trying to work on some stuff. He's got hair that's versatile. We've tried a couple different styles. He switched it up. And as I was learning new techniques, he was a client that let me try things on the hair. He trusted me enough to know that it was something I was working on, and ultimately kind of allowed me to get better and better and better, specifically for his haircut. And then anytime I came across hair like his or techniques that I needed to use. So I always appreciated that. So thanks.
Yeah, you got it.
Well, it's been always nice to connect. What else? Why don't you share a little bit about some of your hobbies that you've had over the years and stuff?
Yeah, so like we talked about earlier, I've definitely, my wife and I love traveling. That's our main thing we like doing. But in my free time, definitely a fitness enthusiast. So anything that allows me to get moving and be competitive. I'm a very competitive person. So I enjoy all that. I work as a UI designer, so I'm very much into art and music. Music was my first love, so play guitar and sing. So anything around music is super interesting to me, and that kind of translated into most creative things. I just like making things and hearing that people appreciate it.
That's cool. All right, let's touch base. I've gone over a lot of tapers in a lot of classes, so just by way of reminder, I cleared out with a 3, cleared out with a 1.5. I went in with the open no guard and worked down into the skin, into the foil. So we have a 1 on right now. It's going to clear out a little bit. Sometimes I'm doing this more for you guys here today. I want to show you the differences of the beginning and kind of the end result as we're kind of moving along. Chin down just a little bit. Thanks. So again, typically in the shop, this will be a half-hour haircut. What really helps with that, again, is how long I've been cutting Jesse's hair, and then we typically are working on the same haircut every 3 weeks. So we get it to a point of maintenance. We've switched it up a few times. We've done the beard. Jesse's gone in and out of beard styles, doing it at home a little bit, getting it done in the shop at times for bigger events. What are you doing with the beard right now? I saw it was pretty short.
Yeah, we just been keeping it short, keeping the stubble look. I normally do grow it out this time of year, but decided to keep it short this time around.
I'm wondering if anybody noticed that I shaved my face. Pretty stark difference, I think.
I did notice.
I've only the most common response that I've gotten is it's weird.
It's weird. Okay.
It's weird and grow it back. That's what I've gotten from people. So
I wouldn't say it's weird, but
no, yeah, that's the number one response that I've gotten from people.
I guess when I do think of you, I think of the bearded version.
Yeah, this version only comes around once or twice a year. Yeah, the kids were pretty funny with it too. All right. Sweet. I'm gonna go in with my 40 tooth blending shear. Chin down for me. Gonna go in nice and tight with the comb and just polish up some transition areas between the clipper guards, and taking out some density that I'm seeing. Using a 40 tooth blending shear, we'll take out those dark spots. I'm gonna kind of point cut too. What I see when people point cut, Kev, how tight can you get in on that a little bit? Oh, cool. All right. So bring that over a little bit. So if you can see dark spots and where there's different areas of density and darker color, I see a lot of people, if they're point cutting or if they're going in with the clipper, they're kind of just doing the motion. What you really need to pay attention to is like a targeted area that you're trying to decrease that dark spot in. And you're just trying to put those point cuts in to break up that dark spot. If you just kind of do it randomly, if you hit a light spot, you're just going to make it lighter. So you're either going to make it worse or it's going to come out looking exactly the same. So again, I just wanted to show you guys between the clipper guards that I had, going in with a finer tooth comb, going in with the 40s, staying on the edges, and then going back in and finding dark pocketed spots and just kind of cutting once and combing that hair out. That'll definitely help with some of these, with some of your taper work as well. So what's going on for like New Year's then? Like, what do you guys have planned?
Oh, well, the couple we're going with, they haven't been to Boston before, so I'm sure we're going to hit that historical trail like we talked about. Mm-hmm. Just explore the city and hit some good restaurants, get some lobster rolls.
Nice.
Yeah, have a cocktail or two.
Good.
Apparently there's a fireworks display for ringing in the new year, so I think we're going to check that out.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see some fireworks New Year's Eve. I always enjoy a good fireworks show.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so here's how I'm going to control All right, here's how I'm gonna control the side a little bit. I'm gonna break it into 2 sections. So 1 and 2 vertical, and then about 2.5 sections across. So I'm gonna get rid of this here. And this first section I'm gonna work on is coming off of that 3-guard guide. And to maintain length, when I pick the hair up and elevate it, I'm gonna stay slightly below the 90. Any elevation that you pick up hair lower than 90 is gonna allow for length and weight. And again, I need that in order to lay the hair back. If Jesse was combing the hair straight down, I wouldn't need to be as mindful of that. So there's a pretty good blend there. Now I'm gonna bring down that second vertical section. The hair that I'm cutting from is coming all the way up from this part. So 90 degrees would be elevated straight out from that part. And again, because I'm trying to build length, I'm gonna keep it lower. But if I don't cut it at all, then it's just gonna be left at that 0 elevation. That's too much length, too much weight. And in a matter of, I would say maybe a week tops, it's gonna look like a bowl. And we don't want that look, right, Jess?
No, definitely not.
So one of the things early on, and I stress this almost every session that we have, is anytime a client's, you're working on a haircut and the client's in your chair, you're looking to build your book, you want to give them that recommendation of the next time that they are going to come in. That's going to build your book. It's going to give you an easier time cutting because you already put the structure in and you're able to follow up with that haircut. Early on when cutting, you're going to learn a lot about the people that return to your chair or about your hair cutting. Where did you leave it too long? Where did you go too short? And you can make those modifications on the next haircut. Don't forget, it takes about 3 to 4 haircuts to really zero in on that targeted goal for the client. So because we have length here that's going to build the weight, I'm going to come in and now I have my 28 tooth texturizers and I'm going to remove some bulk and keep the length, and that will help with the flow, give them a little bit more texture, and it'll help with the shape of the overall haircut. One thing we really had to avoid and make sure we were paying attention to for Jesse's haircut was with the amount of length we keep up top, if I don't keep the weight in the right section, his shape would really balloon out. So we're still trying to keep a nice straight up shape. And that really depends on where we put the length and weight in and the proportions of it. All right, so we'll do the same thing for the back. We'll scissor cut off of the 3. We'll break this down here, and then I'm gonna move to the other side, repeat this process a little faster, and we'll move to the top. Okay, have you got any questions?
No.
So you can see, like, I got the hair combed straight down. I'm blending, again, holding the hair at a lower elevation to allow for that length and weight. And I'm combing straight down to see my weight line and then combing the way that, Jesse's gonna wear it. And I typically always asking my clients, like, if they like to be versatile with their styles, then I need to comb the hair every direction that they're gonna wear it so I can see where that length and weight sits. and get the best blend for what they're looking to do. And sometimes if they don't wear it in the specific style, then the haircut won't look good positioned other ways. So I really like to make a note of that for my guys when they're doing something specific with their hair. So the hair's thicker in the back. So what I just did there was I'm picking the hair up, and because I'm debulking and there's a lot of hair here, I'm going mid shaft out and then out because Jesse has so much density in the back. So again, I see a pocket of hair with a lot density, so we'll go mid, out, and out towards the ends. This hair right here is coming from the top, so we'll deal with that when we get there. Cool. So Jess, you remember how long you used to sit in my chair for when I was working on the techniques I'm sharing today?
At least an hour. Maybe it was a little longer.
Yeah, you can be honest. It's cool. We all had to start somewhere.
I never minded it. I'm going to be honest with you. Like it was never something I thought about of like, oh man, it's taking too long. Because I appreciate when someone, although it sounds like you were kind of experimenting, getting your chops, but I appreciated you taking your time and doing it right. You know.
Yeah. Well, I was always excited if I took a class and came, when I was coming back from like a barbering class or something, I would always kind of try to think of the clients like, well, I could do this technique on his hair. Like you gotta pair the technique with the haircut.
Yeah.
And I think there's I think there's an idea out there. Maybe it's in some of the barbers' heads or whatever, or sometimes clients like any haircut can be put on any person. But I shared with you before, you have good hair, hair color, the texture, the density, so, we have that joke. Sometimes it's the canvas, sometimes it's the barber, sometimes it's both,
Yeah.
So sometimes somebody's hair can make a barber just look good because of how it naturally comes together. And sometimes the barber has to really put their skill into something to make it look good. But so, yeah, there were certain techniques that I could only do on your hair at that time of some of the stuff I was learning. So
Yeah.
that's why I try to stress here for people that are either new or they're picking something up and learning it. So I always talk about just 1 to 2 techniques on one person. Don't overdo it. Don't get yourself jammed up. If you want to fully practice, grab a mannequin head if you're going to go in and try everything out. All right, so let's see the difference between here's how we started. For the side and back, here's where we're at. So we'll mimic that on this side. And then we'll take care of some of this length and weight up top, do a little bit of connection and go from there. All right. So let's go back to the beginning. Okay. What's it say the record time is? Oh, cool. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna have you tilt just a little bit. Okay, if the angle's kind of off or my elbow's in the way, just give me like a little shout. Okay. I'm trying to pay attention to that on the monitor. What's that?
It's on not
Oh, okay.
but if you're like honest, is your arm big in front of him and then behind him?
Mm-hmm. There we go. All right, so open 3, creating a weight line. Don't forget about your clipper control. So I am creating a specific shape here. We're gonna drop towards the back. So make sure you're dropping your clipper at the appropriate angle. I got a lot of my students that they just kind of bring the clipper straight across. So the head dips naturally with the crown. So we want to make sure we follow that shape. And then every tool should be following that as well. All right, so we cleared that out to be able to go in and taper. So now we're going to follow normal taper procedures. We'll go in with the outliner. Create a little bit of space. If your client has a beard, please pay attention to how low you're going to clear out. I have about a pinky width, not even of space here, because I want Jesse to be able to keep his beard, and I want to be able to taper it in at a natural point. Go outliner, foiler. Open no guard with the clipper. I'm gonna have Jesse tilt his head again so I can work comfortably. The angle of the clipper here, again, is pointed from ear to temple so that I'm not going around his ear here. We'll go in with the 1.5. Connect that into the 3 and try to take this little bit of line out with a 1/2 guard. If not, we'll have to polish it up with a 1. You got to get real controlled with your clipper here. What I'm constantly talking to my students about when you're working in areas like this, you can move slower. Speed comes with muscle memory. And you should be watching tunnel vision on what you're trying to hit, what part of the clipper you're using, and then listen. As soon as that clipper starts cutting, you start rolling from teeth to the body to the heel so that you can blend into that higher guard clipper. Great. I think we're going to go back in and do the same technique we used with the texturizers in the nape area right here. What do you think, Kev? You think that's a good idea?
Sounds good.
Love it. Jesse agrees.
Yes, sir.
Should have concurred. All right. Love it. Y'all done Christmas shopping, man?
Yes, yes, I am. I'm wrapped. I'm done. I'm wrapped. I think my wife still has a few things to get some people, but we're all set to go.
Nice. Good stuff.
How about you guys?
Yeah, we are doing well this year. With timing, my wife and I are going back and forth on whether we're going to exchange or not, and it's kind of getting down to the wire. But I guess we should figure that out
Yeah.
sooner than later. So we got other stuff going on, so we're excited for the kids though. We got stuff for them, and they got to write their letters and go see Santa and stuff. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good. You guys have to travel at all for the holiday?
No, thankfully
forget.
not. Yeah, we stay relatively local. It will be a crazy day of back and forth, but luckily it's all within a 30-minute drive.
Nice. What traditions you guys do?
Well, every other year we switch between Christmas Eve with my side and Christmas Eve with her side. This year it's with her side, and they do a Ukrainian version of like 7 fishes.
Cool.
It's relatively the same as the Italian version, but they don't allow any dairy.
No dairy.
Yeah, so it's very dry fish.
Okay.
So yeah, we will do that this year.
What fish you typically? Is it a typical white fish? Like,
Yeah, that's usually the way it goes.
you guys cook anything?
No,
Like, do you guys?
no,
they do everything.
Yeah, her grandmother is very much. She's got a
Oh, that's right.
ritual
You had told
for
me.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. She's got the ritual down.
Yeah, which the previous year we took a salmon dish, and not that she didn't appreciate it, but I think it caught her off guard. So
She didn't know how to handle that.
yeah.
That was funny. Chin down for me again. Yeah, our tradition's getting switched up a little bit this year. We're not going to be at this typical house. So, different house, a little bit different food, but
Okay,
still 7 fishes and stuff. So,
gotcha.
yeah. All right. Finishes this up with the same process as before. And then we're going to finish blending in that side area, staying focused that we want to retain length for flow back to build into the top. We'll do the same process we did there, break it into 2 sections vertically and about 2.5 sections working back. Stay right there for me, Jess. All right. You doing good, man? You all right?
Yeah,
All right.
good.
So I got my trusty 6 1/4 double shark fin shear. That's what I've been doing all my work with. I've really enjoyed this shear. I like the 6 1/4 size wise. Allows me to work smaller, allows me to work in larger sections. So it's versatile enough for me. Cuts wet, cuts dry. It's just a really good workhorse shear. And then earlier we were using the 28 tooth blending shear and the texturizer, and then that blending shear. I'm gonna bring that blending shear back out actually. Cool. So here again, controlling the length and the weight, blending into the fact that we want a longer top. We will shorten it up a little bit, but what we do in this transition area here will directly affect the rest of the haircut, and it'll also affect your taper. I think this should do the trick for you, Jess.
Cool.
Sweet. All right. Good there. Any bigger gifts this year you're excited?
To give,
Or anything you asked for?
yeah, nothing that I really asked for to give. There wasn't any crazy gifts thrown at us to get. So we did a Secret Santa with her side, which has really helped alleviate a lot of stress of buying a ton of gifts. So now we're just each responsible for one person.
Nice.
We'll still do gifts for her parents and her grandmother, but we don't. She has 3 other siblings and then a bunch of cousins, so it got to be a lot. But
Sure that helps the bank account?
yeah, but it still sneaks up on you.
Oh, yeah. It's wild, right?
Yeah. How about for the kids? What's the big thing they ask Santa for?
RC car, hoverboard, PS5. Some of the stuff was like out of pocket. Like I'm like, yeah, don't ask for that. But equipment, sports equipment. They're both into basketball. Basketball and baseball right now. Baseball is the big one, actually. For the 2 of them. So, but my younger one, he's still in the notion of circle everything in the catalog type of thing. Yeah. My older one's getting more like specific, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, we're excited.
Yeah. Speaking of basketball, a gift I am excited to give. So I got he's not going to watch this, so I can say it. I got my brother-in-law for his Secret Santa, and he's a big Miami Heat fan, especially Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
And I know my sister-in-law is getting him like a real espresso machine, so I wanted to get him some good beans. Mm-hmm. And Jimmy Butler has a coffee company called Big Face Coffee. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
So, yeah, I just saw this, like, advertised.
Yeah. It's not cheap, I'll tell you that. But I got him a bag of that, so even though it's just coffee, I'm actually, like, super excited to
No, that's sick. And, like, is that something online, or?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got their website, like, bigfacecoffee.com or whatever, and I ordered off there.
Why coffee? Do you know, did you read about it at all or know why it got into it?
He's just a big connoisseur. I don't know exactly the origins, but it's actually watching that Netflix series, the Starting Five.
Okay.
And he's one of the players they follow and kind of touch on his love of coffee. But apparently he started in that COVID year when it was a weird bubble year for the NBA.
Yeah.
And he started it then. And just in case anyone's fact checking me, I'm not like 100% sure. But
I think you're good. That's awesome. Cool. All right, so now we're moving into that top area. Let's take out the bang. The bang for Jesse and this haircut are going to be the most important. So I'm going to move in towards the top here. Try to section this so you can see it. Here. So we're going to move into the top of the head. I showed this in my last class. I'm going to again cut this at a lower elevation with the guide underneath. Took a small section. I can see the hair sitting under, and it's the hair that we just combed down and cut and finished. So the way you can move to the top and transition into the top and have a guide, you have to connect that next piece. So that's all I'm doing. And again, combing out that bang fringe front area so that I can protect the length there, and we can connect that towards the top and actually keep it longer. So a lot of this haircut is, again, shifting length and weight, protecting those specific areas and connecting them for the overall finished result. Another way you could attack this haircut is finishing to the back here. So chin down. We can take our guide, bring this out here. Cool. So we can actually take a guide from the back. So as I elevate this hair up, and there's two things that I'll do for specifically what I'm trying to achieve in length and weight. You can change your finger angle. I need to change my comb. Jesse's hair is so thick. We're going to go wider tooth, chin down just slightly. So as I elevate and pick the hair up in the fingers, here's the guide. And we want to know where we're layering and how much we're taking off. So I can over direct the hair down, bring my fingers out. That's cutting the hair at a lower elevation. Just polish. I'm elevating it and then just checking that triangle. That's the same thing as holding the hair low in the comb and keeping it down and retaining length and weight. Or I think the other thing that I like to do is we can elevate up and hold the hair out, which essentially is what I have here anyway. We can continue to, now we elevate that hair up into the back, into the crown, and I have a guide here. Now what you do here is very important, because if I level it out, I'm taking all that length off, and that's what we don't want to do. I want to retain length. So you want to take smaller sections and make sure that your cutting angle increases that length, and now that that hair that's back by my second knuckle, we follow that up and through. And look at all this length that we're retaining by having the right cutting angle and then also taking smaller sections. And we'll walk that right up. Again, we can walk that right up to the front here. So in previous classes, I've done a center profile guide and then walked it out. I'll show you how I do that here. I just took the guide from the back, worked it into the crown, worked it into the top, worked it into the bang. So that's another way you can do it. So just showed you two different ways you can figure out the top length without having to really guess, and like the hair is telling you what to do, which is nice. That'll create a balance in your overall haircut. So I'm going back to what I did on the other side. I sectioned out hair from the top, brought it down to that side panel where the hair's already cut, so there's a guide. Some length back here, so we'll remove just a touch of length on the where that bulk is on the rounding of the back of the head. There we go. Nice. All right, let's finish this up. You gotta go.
Yeah.
Okay, you agree? Yeah, leave it centered for me. All right. Thanks, bro.
See you, buddy.
So working up, or picking hair up on the left and middle, left to the middle, we're going to connect our guides. That'll connect the top to what we did to the side. I could cut this vertically too. So break the hair up into vertical sections. So my guide here, my guide here. That shows me a connection point, which is what I want, which lets me know that I'm not taking too much hair in one section when I see connection points like that. You can see in the monitor, Jess?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Sweet. One thing, you can lean forward slightly. When doing a new haircut, potentially for you, or working with a new client, don't forget your check-ins. It is hard to remember because you're so focused on the haircut, but every once in a while, it's good to check in with the client and make sure that you guys are on the same page. Again, once you start cutting the same client I would say 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, they're going to have that trust starting to build in for you. So check-ins can be less frequent, but always good to do it. I think we're going to be ready for these trips, man.
Sweet.
What do you think?
I think so.
You got a lot of travel planned for 2025 too, or just getting through these trips? And
Yeah, we have one trip planned to Colorado to do some more snowboarding. Other than that, nothing's in the books. We've been tossing around some ideas, but we're trying to figure all that out soon.
nice. All right, so going up vertically now, actually cross-checking, and it's actually coming out just these little tiny connection points here, so that's good. All right. I'm just putting on some final touches. So, and as you can see, this is dried, styled pretty much the way we want. We got the longer hair on top, tapered out areas, flow on the side. Now we're just going to kind of go in and fine tune for Jesse specifically where there's a little bit of length, a little bit of weight that he doesn't need. And we'll be good to go. So while I'm finishing this up, and just want to remind you guys, if you are looking for a shear for yourself, you can head over to sharkfinshears.com. Browse around. We have something for everybody. Like I said, I got the double shark fin, 6 1/4. This has been the workhorse for me. I get pretty much do all my haircuts with this. We have the swivel, non-swivel. If you're looking to get into the swivel, great for ergonomics. I do have a coworker who had a hand injury, has limited mobility in the hand and in the thumb, and kind of gets pain. And the swivel has just done wonders for them. So, if you need something like that, that's there as well. 5 1/2, 6 1/4, 7 inch. Check out the Pro Line Plus if you're looking for anything in the Pro Line Plus. Use promo code VP20 at checkout. Take advantage of a 20% off of your purchase in the cart. So if you have any comments, please leave them below. Reach out to us at education@sharkfinshears.com if you need anything. Or you can also DM us on Instagram at sharkfinshears there as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. A lot discussed about elevation, moving weight and length, where to keep it, why, and moving throughout a haircut like this. So Jesse, thank you again so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
You can sign us off with a wave, man.
See you guys. Thanks for watching.